Hey guys, welcome to this episode. In this one, I'm going to answer a question I got from you guys. And she said, where do you get the most conversions for sales? Okay. So she's not really telling me what she's doing right now. She's a fashion entrepreneur like all of us. That's all I know. She didn't tell me her brand or anything, but she's saying she's trying different things. And where do I get the most conversions when it comes to sales? So I am going to tell you what I do at the end. But before I do, I just want to share certain things that are important to look at before diving into a particular strategy. Okay. So, and thank you so much for sending your question. I think this is very helpful. Hopefully what I share would help you and will help all the people that watch this video. Okay. So the first thing I want to say is that we are all different. So perhaps what I'm doing, and I'm going to share with you what I do, doesn't work for you. Perhaps what I do, I find it easy to do, and perhaps you don't find it easy. Maybe it's boring to you, or you don't like it, or you have a talent for something else that you can be better at, right? Or perhaps what I do doesn't go with your business or doesn't go with the audience that you have, because we have different products and services and we have different audiences too. So what I do works for me in terms of who I am and the talents that I could have, and then the people who I'm serving and the kind of product or service that I'm offering. So think about that. Think about who you are and where your talents lie and what your customer really is looking for and the product or service that you're offering if it's right for that particular strategy. Okay. Because I'm sure, and I am a believer of this, I tell all the time, whenever I create content, whenever I talk to customers, like, here's what I'm doing that works for me, but there's different ways to go about it. Okay. There's different tools, there's different things, and we're all different. We're all different, offering different things. We have different audiences, and we cannot ignore that. Okay. So that's the first thing. The second thing I want to say is you have to really pay attention to certain things, such as, is my offer good? Is my offer good for my audience? Because maybe you're doing everything right, but just the offer is not right, right? Is the pricing right? Maybe the offer is right, but the pricing is too high or is too low. Or maybe the copy is not right. It's not connecting with your audience. The offer is perfect, the pricing is perfect, but the copy is not really connecting with people, right? Or sometimes you're not talking to your ideal customer. That's something else. Like, I remember working with a lot of designers who were doing fashion shows, and they were very frustrated about, for example, they would have a booth. We would do a sale with people before the fashion show or at the end, and people wouldn't buy anything. And I would always, tell them when I would work with them, I'm like, is your ideal customer here? This event that you're participating in, the promotions they have on social media, the kind of followers they have on social media, is that your particular customer? And most of the time, the answer is no. They just want to be in the show. They just want to do an event. They just want to connect with people. And of course, they want to make money. But if your right target audience is not there, then how are you going to make sales? So wherever you're promoting or whatever you're doing, what you're doing, is your customer there? That's another big thing. Okay. Now, another thing is numbers. Okay. You have to take into consideration numbers. So you might have a great offer and the right people and the right pricing and the right everything, right? But you don't have enough traffic, enough people. So for example, let's say you're working really hard on Instagram and you are having some sales, but you're not having enough sales or what you would like to have. Well, look at the numbers. How many people are following you? How many people are you interacting with? How many people are taking action? Because if you have a very small following and you're having some sales, you're doing great. Because you have to remember that only a percentage of those people are going to turn into sales. That's just how it is. So perhaps you're not doing anything wrong. You're actually doing things right because you are getting some sales. It's just they're not enough to sustain you or sustain the business. So it's not about changing the offer or changing the strategy or doing what I'm doing. No, you're doing it perfectly. You just have to bring more people in. You just need to grow those followers. You just need to grow that audience so you can have more sales. So you see how important that is? That's why I'm sharing it. Okay. I am going to share what I do, and there's no problem. I'm share it all the time. But I'm just saying, because I don't want you to change a strategy that is working for you, right? Or that it just needs a tweak, like the other things that we talk about. Like maybe it's just the pricing that needs changing. Everything you're doing is great. It's just the pricing, right? Or you're doing everything right, like with this example with Instagram. And I don't want you to change the strategy. If it's working, you just need to focus on bringing more people in so you can have more sales. So just think about those things, okay, before changing the strategy. Okay. And if you have more questions or you want to be more specific and send me another email with your situation, awesome. Okay. Because maybe I can give you more specific advice. But after you look at all of those things that we just talked about, then what do? What works for me and what I recommend to a lot of my customers, my clients, right? My fashionpreneur members is email marketing. Okay. So for me, I do everything. I do a lot of things, right? Like all of you guys. And I love social media. And I'm always talking about social media because great things happen on social media. But for me in particular, because of the thing I sell and the people that I follow, that I have in my audience and everything, what works best is email marketing. So whenever I make a sale or an announcement or something and I send an email out, most of the sales come from that email. Okay, more than social media or YouTube or whatever, right? So other things bring in sales too, but the one that brings the most sales is email. Okay, so what is the one that gets the most conversions for me? Emails. So I know that for me, I need to work on email marketing. I need to always send an email out, to be consistent at it, to share information with my audience, to build a good relationship with them via email, because that's where they seem to take the make the decision. Okay, whenever I send them information and I tell them what's going on and maybe I'm doing a sale, that's when they decide. People who are following me for a while, who know who I am, who are consistently in contact with my content, with what I do, when the time is right for them and the offer is right for them, they go ahead and buy. So for me, right, that's what's working the best now. Now, is that what's going to work best for you? I don't know. You have to let me know, what's your business and what you're doing and what the experiences that you're having, right? That's why I love, I always tell people you have to be very involved. It's very easy to hire people to do stuff for you. Like, oh, I hired this person to do social media, and then you spend a lot of money and then it's not having any traction. Well, it's because they're just doing a particular work, but they're not integrating it right with what's happening in the business, right? Like you need to know your business. You need to know what's working for you. I'm not saying you have to do everything. Of course not. You can hire people to do stuff for you, but you need to know what's going on, because you can direct them, or you can give them feedback, or you can tell them, where to go. And of course, there's amazing people that you hire that can tell you because you don't know, and that's great, but you still have to be involved and understand what's going on, because you need to. That's gonna improve the sales. That's going to, if something happens to those people, you're going to be able to continue doing it. And also it's going to help you adapt your approach to what's really working, right? So take a look at these things, see, if email marketing is something that could work for you, if that's something that you like writing, you like creating consistent content, you like, where are you in that space? Do you have an email provider, right? Is that something that you see yourself doing? Because also, I don't want you to do something that maybe you do it for 3 weeks and then you're like, I can't do this. This is not me, right? And then stop doing it. So see if that's something that works for you. If that's something that your audience will receive well, that works for your sales, right? And then take a look at, is my offer really right? Is my pricing really right? Am I hanging out in the right place where my people hang out, right? Is the copy connecting with people, right? Or am I doing everything right? Like I said in that example with Instagram, and I just need to bring more people in to bring more sales. think about those things. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope that this helps everyone listening, and I hope it definitely helps you. Again, let me know if you have any questions. Send me another email. And yeah, for these things, guys, that's why I love having the membership, because in the membership you can show up and send me an email, and you can just show up on our Facebook group and ask a question, and or maybe in our accountability call. These are things that are very helpful. So I will leave links for that below too. Also, we do cover email marketing inside our membership, as well as other strategies that you can apply to connect with your audience. So make sure to connect with that. Check it out. That's all inside the membership as well. And if you have any other questions, you want me to answer something else in another episode, just let me know and I'll be happy to. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in our next episode. Okay? Bye, guys.